Hello, in today's video I'd like to talk to you about my experiences with minimalism. So before applying concepts of minimalism into my life, I wouldn't say I was a messy person. Everything in my room would have a place. However, there was just so much of it. I think a really big turning point was when I would do one of my routine cleanings of my room. The amount of time it would take just to put things away would take maybe hours. And it just got tiring, constantly putting these things away. And it took so much time just putting things away in drawers in places where I never used them, I never saw them. And I think one of the biggest influences in making that change was actually Marie Kondo's book, which I have right here. It is the life-changing magic of tidying up, the Japanese art of decluttering and organizing. So the change that this book made was it made it a lot easier to just get rid of things. I noticed that although everything had a place and on the outside it looked clean, it was just cluttered. There was just so much stuff that even though it was considered clean, it was very hectic. It almost felt chaotic just looking at all the things that were everywhere. And after reading this book, I think it's been a year or two now since I've read this book. I applied a lot of her techniques, looking through things and seeing what sparks joy. And since then, a lot of the stuff in my room has decreased, and it's become a lot calmer in terms of how it looks. There's a certain aesthetic to minimalism, and it's very calming to just see, clean counters and, less stuff. I think since then, things have been going well. A lot of people will say that the Kondo method isn't necessarily minimalism, which it isn't really. I think it's just a technique to tidying up. Um, what happened next would be, since then, I really like that aesthetic that minimalism has, the simplicity of everything. So I've also been experiencing minimalism not as much as a concept, but also as a design as of recently. And because of that, I've been listening to audiobooks and things, which led me to the book by Fumio Sasaki, Goodbye Things. This book was a very good book. It was very much a minimalist book, and how he sort of gives his tips and techniques and his sort of thought process as how he tackles minimalism, which I think is very important, which was very helpful for me. So since reading his book, it's just brought me back to sort of that Marie Kondo. Over time, things do tend to build up. After doing my recent purge of objects, which I like to call it, I noticed that there's a lot less stuff that I'm purging out of my room. It's just there's still a lot of stuff I have connection to, which I think I'm trying to reduce. Most of it is just like papers and small things that just like, these are things that you don't intentionally bring in. They just sort of come into your space, more or less because of necessity, and sometimes you just forget to get rid of it. Most of the stuff that I was getting rid of was stuff that was, it's not anything big that I purchased. It's mostly things that like, small things like papers and, that sort of stuff. But since then, I've decided that I want to reduce a lot of the storage in my room because I notice I still store a lot of things. I understand that it is important to store certain things like wires and things, especially like things that have to do with your hobbies, which maybe I'll get into having hobbies and trying minimalism. But I think finding a solution to that is important for me right now, and I think just trying to reduce the storage and trying to keep everything consistent is what I'm trying to tackle right now. So that's me and my experiences with minimalism and how it's going right now. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope to talk to you more about this topic, which I actually really enjoy. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope to see you again soon. Bye!